Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the casting table. This show, we are all casting directors, and we pick a character from a franchise, an intellectual property, and we give our choices to who we think would be a good fit to play the character in a future movie, and maybe they have their own franchise. My name is Gio. I am joined by Jacob Bartley, rocking the Harley Quinn shirt. Love it.
Oh yeah.
And Keith Barnes. All right, how you guys doing?
Pretty good, man.
Good.
Right
Talk about a big DC character.
Yeah. So the DC character he is referring to is John Constantine. Now, in case you didn't know, Constantine is a pretty big character in the DC comics, right? He's a fighter of the supernatural. He protects humans from demons who try to infiltrate Earth from hell. And just a whole lot of sorcery magic stuff going on. If you didn't know, Constantine in 2005 was kind of a hit, starring Keanu Reeves. And I believe Rachel Weisz was in there as well, if I'm not mistaken. But that was, I consider it a cult classic. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that movie. Have either of you watched Constantine?
I've never seen it, no.
Oh, really? Oh man, I love that. I saw it in theater. Man. I love that movie.
Really we got to put that on our movie watching challenge. Keith, quick thoughts on that movie?
Oh, that was really good. A lot of people were. It's like you said, it was Keanu Reeves, which threw some people off because Constantine is blonde and he's British. But it's Keanu Reeves, right? So you can't go wrong with him. He can play any comic book character; it'd be fine. And he was really good. Tilda Swinton in there playing the Archangel Gabriel.
That's right, yeah.
You got Shia LaBeouf in there.
I was gonna say, isn't Shia LaBeouf in that movie? I don't know who he plays though.
It's really good. It's really, really good. That stuff with everything else that they mostly pretty much covered whatever Constantine is. Looks like the cancer and it's really good. I thought it was really good.
I remember, I think you mentioned this, but people threw a fit because the movie tried to make Constantine, who's in the comics is a heavy smoker, they try to make him smoking, and it's like, who knew that would, upset fans a lot. I mean, it's one thing with
what's wrong with that? It's taking something that's a part of the comic book lore and then, putting adding mythology to it in a movie. That's basically what every comic book movie does. It's and so does he never so what, he has lung cancer in the movie? And does that, I mean, who knows, probably neither of us know if that actually happens in the comics. I wonder, because he does smoke a lot.
It's a side plot in the movie. It does pay off.
And my exposure to Constantine is in the Arrowverse. Well, it was actually a television show on a different network, and then they moved that character into the Arrowverse, and I love that version played by Matt Ryan. And basically Constantine's like a sorcerer, and he practices in the arts of dark magic, and he's kind of an anti-hero, he's a little bit more of a Deadpool and a Punisher than a Captain America.
He has his own way of handling business for sure. I'm with you, Jacob. I thought his resurgence, you could say, in the Arrowverse, because I did check out a couple of those episodes, were some of the highlights, and I think it was enough to where he came back, right, for the
they brought him back several. He's been on Arrow, he's been on Legends of Tomorrow. He's been on almost all those shows, and it's cool because anytime they dive into that stuff, they always bring him on. So
I know they teased when it was on NBC. So I think it was on NBC, I think.
Right.
And they teased other characters like Dr. Fate, or I remember they showed the Dr. Fate helmet at some place, and some of the Zatanna. I think they might have teased Zatanna as well, because obviously her being a magic kind of sorcerer character as well. They cross over a lot or work together a lot. So the Arrow version used magic, I think, a little more, because I think, I heard someone describe him as like the DC Doctor Strange, which he's not necessarily.
No, he can't just conjure up magic out of nowhere, like in a fight, right? Like
he rarely
spells.
Yeah.
He knows spells, and all the different spells need different elements, right? Like sometimes he needs this powder or certain stuff, you know? Like he can't just out of nowhere with his bare hands create magic. I think he at least has to know spells. But I'm excited to cast him though.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So speaking of that, I think there's definitely an opportunity to bring him to either the big screen or to like a high budget streaming service. As far as DC is concerned, J.J. Abrams is working on Justice League Dark, and that universe could definitely have Constantine in there.
Oh, I think he arguably could be the lead of that.
For sure. Yeah, and now we know that DC, everything is kind of connected through, you know, the Speed Force and the Flash traveling to alternate or multiverses, you know. So this casting could be a pretty big one, you know, for both the streaming service and the big screen for DC. So this is my first time hosting, guys. Do we do our first picks first or
we do our first picks first because we don't want like somebody to say our first choice as their second choice. Do you know what I mean? Or our honorable mention as our first choice, because we want the first time we discuss that our first choice to be the first time. But it's very possible, and this has happened before, where somebody steals someone else's without knowing. That's when you use your backup as your choice.
Okay, so whoever would like to start first, obviously name your choice for which actor you would like to play John Constantine. Please do reference some of their work in previous films or TV shows and what makes them a good fit. And whoever wants to start first.
Keith, you want to go? I'll go. Okay. So for me, the John Constantine character, from my exposure to the character, I feel like being British is a core part of his identity, and just the way that he talks, the way that he is. Does Keanu Reeves try to do a British accent in this? Okay, no, so he's American?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so honestly, for me, that's how I identify with that character. There's some characters where their nationality doesn't matter, but I think for Constantine, his nationality does matter. I think it's a core part of his identity. So absolutely an American actor or any other nationality actor could play a British character. Like I just watched the Netflix Rebecca, and Armie Hammer, who I believe is American, is playing a British character doing a British accent. He wasn't too bad with the British accent. Yeah, he has a British accent in that movie. And it's not bad. It's not the best I've ever heard, but it's not terrible. But for me, I think it would be pretty cool to have a British actor play this role. And this is one of my favorite guys, and we just saw him in a great role. And my first choice for Constantine, which I would be super cool for this actor, is Eddie Redmayne. Look, Eddie Redmayne has played certain characters, right? He played Stephen Hawking, very unique role. He plays in the Fantastic Beasts universe, which that character, a lot of people don't like that character. The way he portrays the character, it's very like soft and skittish. I want to see him, and look, he's a great actor because we saw him in the Trial of the Chicago 7 playing a very different character, doing an American accent, and very more hard-edged character. So I think I want to see Eddie Redmayne play a badass. I think he's such a great actor. I could totally see him pull it off. I want him to use his British accent. They could even dye his hair dirty blonde if they want. I don't mind either way. Just keep his regular hair or dye his hair dirty blonde. But my main reasons are, I think he was arguably in danger of being typecast as like a timid, soft guy. And I think this would kind of steer him away from that. But also, he's such a great actor that I think he can pull it off. And he's just one of my favorite actors. So I would love to see, like, imagine if they said we're doing a movie and they would cast Eddie Redmayne as Constantine. I think that's good news if that happened.
He is definitely a proven talent, both in, indie drama and also blockbusters with the Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
So I think that's an ace right there, for sure. Good choice, Jacob. What about you, Keith?
All right, my first choice is also I had a similar line of thinking. It's Jacob, British actor. So just tell you mine, or I've got 2 British actors and an Australian actor for my choice. But my number 1 guy is super British guy. He's a former Doctor Who. He plays Prince Philip on The Crown, and that's Matt Smith.
Mm.
I think he'd be
nice.
perfect Doctor. I mean, well, I almost said Doctor Strange. Constantine, a perfect Constantine. He'd probably be a good Doctor Strange too. Perfect Constantine, in my opinion.
Yeah, this guy could do it. I've seen him. Yeah.
He was supposed to be in Rise of Skywalker. We don't really know what happened there. I don't know if they shot any of that stuff or not. Who knows? But he's showing up in Morbius. I don't know.
Is that the villain?
I guess so. Right? I don't know.
Brown. I'm guessing.
The villain? Yeah, I never heard of that character. Okay, yeah, probably. I'm sure he is. He plays a great bad guy. But he's one of the Doctor Who people seem to like him. Him and David Tennant were 2 Doctor Who that people like a lot. So he's very British. He's kind of tall. He's pretty tall. I think Constantine is a pretty tall guy. I think. So I think he'd be a great. Oh my gosh! I keep saying Doctor Strange. A great Constantine.
Well, I think you're mixing Doctor Who and
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
This guy, I've seen this guy in things here and there, and I think that's a great choice.
Yeah, man.
There's a tons of good options for this character, and I could totally see him. Just looking at him, I could totally see that, because Constantine's the character that's going to show up and not really give a crap and just do his thing. So I could totally see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't seen too much of Matt Smith except for Terminator Genisys, and he was just a total.
He's Skynet. That's right. He plays Skynet.
He was a total creep. So I don't know. Maybe he has the charisma, and
I know him from Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies.
He is in that too. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Well, if they go with him, I for sure have to, catch up on my Matt Smith work. Good choice. Good choice, Keith. For me, so I just now switched my 1 because I want to make it a little bit interesting, okay? And it would be kind of cheating. But my number 1 choice, I think this guy is ready to do big budget blockbusters, well-known IPs, and that is Daniel Radcliffe, Mr. Harry Potter.
Nice.
Yeah, that guy, if you haven't kept up with his career since Harry Potter, he definitely is one kind of an indie darling. He had a couple movies that were for sure hits. He did Now You See Me Too, which was okay. I mean, I don't think that was ever going to live up to the first one. But man, if you can carry a franchise through 8 films? Did they split 9? Is it 8 or 9? They split the last one into 2, right?
8.
But there's 7 books and 8 movies.
7. Okay, so
and
8.
I think we're going to get a 9th movie with him eventually.
Yeah,
maybe.
Probably. Yeah, I could see that, which would totally ruin my choice. But
no, not at all. Play both.
If he doesn't, I think he'd be a good choice. I think he'd be a kind of outside the box choice because, you look at Radcliffe and he's still attached. You look at him and people see Harry Potter, right? But I think if you give him a role like this, something that's a little more complex, a little more complicated, as far as character goes, not always the good person, the good boy. I think he can definitely surprise a lot of people. So Daniel Radcliffe would be my top choice if I were a casting director.
I would like that.
Yeah. I think he's playing a lot of different roles. You're right, Gio. Like he's definitely expanding his range and showing he can do a lot more. Especially, like you said, being a kid too, carrying all those movies. Like that's huge. So I think he's kind of. I think people are just starting to. He's kind of just getting away from that. Like he'll always
so many indie movies and things like
really
that.
Is. Yeah. All those guys. Him and Hermione.
Emma Watson.
Yeah, sorry, Emma Watson.
Hey, she'd make a great Constantine too if we're due to if we did a gender swap.
She could be the yeah, that's true. Or she could be the Rachel Weisz character. Well, the casting.
There you go.
But I was thinking about.
I'd be cool with that. I'm always rooting for Daniel Radcliffe, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Me too, man. Me too. It's funny you say that, Gio, because I was actually thinking about I think Tom Felton is his name. I was actually thinking about him.
Oh,
I was thinking about him.
That'd be a good choice.
Yeah.
Is that your runner-up?
Yes. Now he is. He was one of them. I didn't write it down, but I was looking at him like, he's blonde and he's kind of angry-ish, or he can play that kind of role. So, but yeah, that's a good choice.
Shoot us your runner-ups while you're at it, Keith.
Okay. Yeah. So my other, second choice, right? We do first and second choice.
Yeah, and then we'll do honorable mentions.
And honorable. Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry, my bad. Sorry. My second choice was Charlie Hunnam.
Nice.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Because he seems to be Constantine.
That's so perfect. I can't believe I didn't think of that, especially looking at him in The Gentleman.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
We'll need to watch The Gentleman.
Oh, it's so good, man. So good. He's so great in it too, and he kind of has that look a little bit. You know what I mean?
And the swagger.
Yeah.
The swagger. You gotta have the swagger if you're Constantine.
Absolutely. I think he's better when he's acting in his natural British accent.
For sure.
Yeah.
Even though I love Sons of Anarchy.
Which, I haven't watched that. Yeah, I guess I hear he's pretty good on that, but I heard it seems to me like he's a lot better. I'm comparing it to the Pacific Rim, which I didn't.
Yeah, no, I mean
he's kind of.
The thing is, like with Sons of Anarchy, like it's just he's him, like he's Jax, he's that character. So he does well, but like his best performance is The Gentleman, in my opinion.
Yeah. From what I've seen, I agree. I think he'd be great, man.
That would be amazing.
I thought Constantine seems like he's kind of like in his maybe early to mid 40s.
Yeah, I was aiming for like the 40-ish range, like late 30s, early 40s is what I was aiming for. Yeah.
So I think he could probably play a little younger, but I think you'd probably aim for that kind of that age.
Because I feel like Constantine is experienced. Like I feel like he lived a regular life and then got involved in this stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And plus, he's like a detective. He's kind of this hard-nosed detective.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you're not going to be like 22.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So I think Charlie Hunnam would be really, really good.
That's a great choice. I'm jealous. I didn't think of that one. I still like my first one, but I guess I'll go with my runner-up. And look, to me, I talked about British identity, and I think that's very important. But honestly, what's not important is the color of his skin. I think that's, for most characters, that's irrelevant, just as long as it's a great actor playing the role. But to me, the British identity is relevant. And for me, I think someone who would do a great job with this, and I would love to see him get an opportunity like this. And we've seen him on the up and up, obviously, and he's an Oscar-nominated actor, and that is Daniel Kahlua. I think this guy,
man, he is British.
If you Get Out,
cast him in this role, I think he would kill it. Because, and also, kind of the same way, in Get Out, he's very quiet, observant, not very out there as far as the way he talks and personality-wise. In Black Panther, he's kind of like he's a little bit more outgoing, but he's still kind of soft-spoken. I want to see him just like play a guy, because I think he's a really good actor, but I haven't seen him kind of step out of his wheelhouse in a way, and I haven't seen Queen and Slim. I don't know if that's any different. And even in the where I first saw him was in the Black Mirror episode, same type of character that from Get Out. So I don't know if he is limited in his range as an actor. So I want to see him step outside of that wheelhouse and play a character like this. And obviously he has a British accent in real life. So I want to see this guy. I think he could totally pull it off. I would love to see that. And he's obviously one of these great young actors that we have working today.
I agree. And as far as outside the box choices, he's definitely up there, man. Like that's a good choice.
He's got range, man. He plays Emily Blunt's partner in Sicario.
Yes, he does.
Oh yeah.
And I think there's something else I just saw him in that I didn't know he was in. Anyway, whatever. I think he's got. That's a good call. Yeah, I totally forgot he was British.
Yeah, no, I would totally be down. Like if they announced the cast of Justice League Dark today and he was Constantine, I'd be like, that's dope.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with my runner-up, and I'm gonna break away from the British actors. So
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a British actor, by the way.
I don't know, man. Jeez, I just the internet could be
right.
Well, look,
very brutal sometimes.
the thing is, actors are playing people they're not. So
I know.
that's the whole point of being an actor.
People would get that. Yeah, exactly.
Well, with that said, my runner-up would be somebody who almost played a superhero character and had his franchise. I was very much rooting for him. Unfortunately, that never happened, but I still think he's in that right range where he can play a John Constantine, and it's Channing Tatum for me. Look,
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You don't get a director like Quentin Tarantino who says, I want to work with that actor if you don't have some talent. And this guy definitely does. We know he can do funny. He has very good, timing as far as like humor goes. He's definitely a face. He's a name still. So if you're starting a franchise, you can definitely headline with him. And he can also do drama. I'm thinking about movies like, Foxcatcher, where he just completely surprised everyone. And
still haven't seen it.
The what?
I haven't seen that. Still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Well, to me, Channing Tatum has gone away. He's a really good actor. He changed his whole career, to be honest. And but that started with that. That was like really big. He was great in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Then Logan Lucky. That was another great one for him.
He was amazing in Logan Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's great in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if I'm a director, I'm looking at okay, I want to start. I want to introduce a character on the big screen, but I also want to start a franchise as well. I need a name because Constantine is known, but he's not like well known, So
yeah.
I think to have someone like Channing Tatum in that role, his return to big budget blockbusters. I can't remember the last one he did, but I think it's time, and I think that's a character he can absolutely pull off. So Channing Tatum would be my number 2.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. I mean, I'm actually a big Channing Tatum fan, and I would prefer him to just be American if they cast Channing Tatum, though. I agree. I don't want to see him do a British accent.
Yeah,
not that he would do a bad job, but I don't want to see him have to do that the whole movie.
Well, he's like a Southern dude, right? He's from like Alabama or something. Like it'd be cool to have a Southern Constantine.
He apparently had a great Gambit accent. Cajun. Yeah. Apparently, like that was a big, part of their pitch for a Gambit solo movie was doing that character, right. And never happened, unfortunately. It still could happen, but
I'm actually glad Fox never did it because now it's still a possibility with the MCU. Yeah. I still think if I'm Kevin Feige, why not?
I'd consider it. Yeah. See
why not cast him as Gambit? I don't. And you launch X-Men. The first X-Men movie you do has Gambit in it. Do it.
He was really excited about it. I guess. Like, seemed like he really.
He loves Gambit. He loves the Gambit character. He was the one pushing for it. Like he chose the director. He was the one pushing for it. But I'd be down for that too because, like I said, I'm a big fan of him. I think he could definitely pull off because Constantine's kind of an asshole, so he can kind of pull that off. I totally think he could.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, guys, before we wrap it up, let's do our honorable mentions. Keith, who you got?
My honorable mention is an Australian guy. He's a guy that Hollywood talk about, like they try to make him a big star. He kind of is because he's in the highest grossing movie of all time, and that's
I know who it is.
Sam Worthington, who I guess he's probably tied up, I guess, for the next 4 years doing doing the sequels to Avatar, but I think he'd be a pretty good Constantine.
Oh yeah, I'd be down for that.
He's Australian, so he could do British.
Yeah, my honorable mention was James McAvoy.
Nice.
How could you not go wrong? He's kind of similar choice to Eddie Redmayne in a way. I could totally see him pulling it off. He's such a great actor that of course he could do it.
Yeah. Right on. My honorable mention. Kind of cheating. He was my first mention because I think there's a real possibility that this could happen. It's Keanu Reeves. Bring him back. bring him back.
Sure.
A lot of people went and revisited that movie or visited it for the first time years, maybe a decade later.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
It's pretty damn good. And Keanu is much more of a fan favorite today than he was during that time. People love him so much. I mean, I don't think you can almost cast him in anything, and even the SJWs would be like, I love Keanu Reeves so much. Okay, I will do it. Fine, I will give in. I support this. Yes, I think there is a way with the upcoming Flashpoint movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he's gonna appear, it's probably gonna be in Flashpoint.
Oh yeah, and if he's a scene stealer, you're damn right that DC is gonna bring him back. And remember, Marvel. There's talks that Marvel and even DC they're trying to find something for him to play so he can be in the comic book genre. Well, you don't have to look very far, DC. Get Keanu Reeves. So
I bet he'd do it.
My choice. You guys in the comments, those of you watching, first of all, thank you for doing so. But let us know who you would cast as John Constantine for big budget / streaming service. Let us know if you like one of our picks. If you hate one of our picks, bring it. Give it to us. We appreciate the conversation. We love interacting with you guys. And thank you so much for joining us for this edition of The Casting Table with John Constantine. Again, my name is Gio. I am joined by Jacob Bartley. And Keith Barnes. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We had so much fun, and we'll catch you guys next time.